and Sid in the Morning is over, we're wrapping it up.
Wrap it up!
Wrap it up!
Wrap it up!
I don't like when people talk about me.
It's the Wrap It Up Podcast.
Welcome to our show. We are back for you today.
Rain or snow.
Oh, good.
Look at that.
Very,
Rhyming away here. So, yeah, we are back for, this is episode, we've made it 8 episodes, Flipper.
Get the frig out of here.
Yeah, eight
Wow.
8 episodes, and we thank all of you
That's
who
2
listen,
months.
download our podcast. And,
Holy shizzle.
You
Yes,
know,
thank y'all.
yeah, we got to recap the week here again, so we're going to start at the beginning of the week.
Yes, on Monday.
Monday.
Sid was all fired up from the get-go because he collected our award for Best Morning Show, and the Friday before, he was all dissing on Bill Ritter. Right?
For having Craig Carton on to talk about something, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Sid said he was way more, Sid is way more compelling.
He basically put a hit out on Bill for our listeners to get Sid on the show.
Social media hit.
Yeah.
And I guess they hit him.
He did, because when they bumped into each other at the award ceremony, Bill was laughing, and he's just like, your listeners put an all-out hit on me. Not hit, but, what's the proper word? I don't know.
We just like bombarded them on social media as much as we could to kind of let them know that we are here, or that Sydney is here.
Sydney's here.
Yeah, Sydney's here, and that he wants to go
But
on
he's
and
not
talk
going
to them.
on. They already booked someone.
Yeah, I guess what was it? It was something about Israel, and
Yeah.
Sid wanted to go on because of that after his New York Times
His
speech.
debut.
So, but it was so ironic that he ran into him at that
That is
award
so
thing.
funny.
You can't make that up, people. Cannot make that up. After we were asking, it was yeah.
Oh, my
can't make it up.
God. It's just really funny.
Yeah, so over the weekend there was a lot going on in Israel, actually, between them and Gaza.
And it's just so funny the way the media portrayed it. So Palestine, as you guys already know, because you listened to the Bernie and Sid show, but they flew rockets?
Yeah, they fired like
A bunch
over
of
400 rockets
into Israel. So, and then there was nothing on that on CNN or MSLSD, as Mark Levin likes to say.
LSD, yeah.
But then when Israel retaliated, then they said, Israel fires back at Palestine, killing 8-year-old
girl and injuring their pregnant mother.
Yeah, so it's just very interesting.
Selective.
It's very, very interesting to see this, and I wouldn't have noticed all of this stuff if it wasn't for President Trump calling out the fake news media and just showing us all the spin. And, I was always one to just believe whatever I saw on TV and hear on radio and paper, but
it's not.
No more.
Everyone's got an ulterior motive, an agenda that they are pushing.
And news, I don't think news used to be like this. It used to be just news. Like, they wouldn't talk Kardashian stuff. They wouldn't have scrolls across the networks 24/7 breaking news. It would just be news, like when that famous newscaster when President Kennedy died.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck's his name?
Walter Cronkite.
Yes. Like, that's when newscasters were respected because it was actual unbiased news, I think.
And you believe those people. Now, I think that you're right about that. I also think that it's kind of the news today is a product of its upbringing in the internet age, where we need to
be first,
and we need to fill so much space with everything. So it's like, all right, we're going to pick,
Right.
the stories that we want, and we're just going to run with it that way instead of trying to cover everything. So I just think
that's why I like to watch CBS This Morning, because it's not bad news. It's just mostly good, uplifting stories.
And you don't get to know. Speaking of that, I was at my watering hole, Uncle Barry's the other night.
Uncle Barry's.
And
drinking.
We had something on. We had ABC7 on for something, and the local news came on.
Now, what do you drink when you go there?
They have happy hour from 1 to 7, so it's like
what, do you drink
drafts.
beer?
Yeah, beer.
Beer, okay.
Beer, draft beer, and then you go to the High Life. You get a High Life and a whiskey shot for like $6. So
okay.
that's what I do there. Yeah, and the news came on, and some guy next to they led with the Russian plane catching on
That was
fire.
crazy.
The local news, the 7 o'clock local news, they're leading with the Russian airplane.
Anything that has a little bit of fire, death, or graphics, they will put on.
Yep, and they led with that, and I'm sitting there thinking, the guys next to me, I didn't know who they were, and the guys are like, look at this, it's just so terrible. I'm like, first off, I get that it's terrible. It's halfway across the world. We're in New York City. Like, that's not something for a local newscast, I don't feel like. And then they get into the other stuff. And
Did you tell them that you work in talk radio?
No, I didn't tell them.
They were probably like, look at this guy, he's freaking crazy.
Yeah, he's lunatic. I'm like, and I also tell them, I'm like, you guys, you've already fallen into the trap.
Yeah.
That's you're saying why don't we have good news? Why don't we have good news?
Yeah.
They want bad news so they can get a reaction to you every single time. They want to
That's
play
why
their
all
emotions.
these types of videos go viral.
Yeah.
Because people watch, like people falling down, they watch it over and over again. People getting hurt, rescuers running into a lake, frozen lake to rescue a dog. It's very suspenseful.
Yes.
And people
Yeah.
want to see that.
Yeah, so that,
Or the plane videos with women telling other women off, all the McDonald's videos of fights.
yes.
Girl fights.
World Star Hip Hop. World Star.
Yeah.
Go to that website, people. Check that out.
That shit is not news, but yet it becomes news.
Yep, we use the internet completely in the wrong way. Completely in the wrong way. It is just, there's so much junk out there. It's unbelievable.
My husband once said, he's like, technology is going to be the downfall of humanity.
Absolutely. Look how much we rely on it. People can't go anywhere without their phone anymore.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. No longer do you, my roommate is in Switzerland right now.
I'm one of those people.
I agree. If you gave me a map, I'm sure I would be able to figure it out, but I would be, it would take me a while to get where I'm going, figure out what things I need to take. You type, an address into Google Maps, and boom, you're right there.
I took my son to take the SAT early Saturday morning. From my house to Oyster Bay High School is probably like 15, 20 minutes. And I said, and I had my Google Maps on to tell me, every which way to turn. And I said, Jack, back in the day, I used to have to stop at gas stations to ask for directions, when I was 20, 18.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? That's so weird.
It's not even See, I grew up before, like, I had half of my life, I feel like right now, I'm going to be 30. Half of my life, I didn't have the internet. And now I'm starting to see, as the internet has grown to what it is, that I kind of miss those days.
Just being outside.
The 24-hour news cycle just sucks.
Yeah.
It really does. It sucks.
It does.
It does. And actually, I have been turning my phone off of late. Like I went out Saturday night and turned my phone off for a bit, and
Oh wow! See, I can't do that. When you have kids, you can't turn it off. Like, I guess you could, because back in the day when my parents used to go out and we had babysitters, they never called in to check on us. I don't remember them ever calling in. But I always keep my phone on when we go out. I'm like, what if
even with your kids?
Yes. No. When they're with me, it's always on though. Yes.
That's what you should do. You should every time you go out with your kids.
But you know why it's on? Because I want to take pictures.
True.
I always
all
take
right.
pictures.
Put it on airplane mode then.
I know. I don't know. My phone is always on. It's terrible.
I'm sure. I'm sure we got to put that up on a poll somewhere. How many people can? When's the last time you turned your phone off and that it didn't die from a battery? You can't remember, right?
No.
It's always charged, right?
It's always charged, always on. I have a portable charger. So it's always charged.
It's
sick.
unbelievable.
It's
So your husband is right. We it's going to be the downfall. We rely too much on technology today. It's too easy. So something that speaking of today's technology age in the 21st century, something that has been going on for almost 150 years now is the Kentucky Derby, and we talked about that on Monday and that controversial finish.
Oh my gosh! I just felt and you laughed.
Yeah.
At me,
Well,
my first reaction was, that poor horse. Will he get a beating because he lost? And you seem to think that he did not.
He's not going to get beat. And I was explaining to you, these horses, yes, they are born to run, and it's to them.
Baby, we were born to run.
Yeah. What did they say? They say, Imus used to say that the cattle roping thing.
Yeah.
He used to liken
That's
it
ridiculous.
to football practice. But
that's stupid. First of all, cattle roping. You're wrapping a rope around a cow's neck and dragging him to the ground. I don't understand cow roping or bullfighting or any of that crap.
So I see the analogy he was trying to make, but with horse racing, it's a little more believable because they were born to run and they're just exercising.
They were born to graze also, but they weren't born to be whipped and poked and prodded. I don't like seeing that visual. Like
that is a little far because at that point that they are pretty much they're coming down the stretch and they have no energy left. So you got to hit them to get them going. So now that was I feel for you on that, but it's not as bad as some other things animal-wise. So
yeah, I know.
We also talked a lot about this upcoming softball game that we're going to have this summer against Fox 5. Sid with Maimonides Hospital.
Yeah, he said I can't play.
He said you can't play
because I'm a girl.
Because Sid is being a little competitive about this.
Yes, he wants to win.
But we said if Suki and Jen Lammers play, you're in the game.
And you should play too.
I'm more than happy to play.
Yeah.
But You'll be out on the field, Flip. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll stick up for
if
you.
those girls are playing, then I'm playing.
Hell yeah. Giving away a lot of tickets again, people.
Oh my
Who did we give away today?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins. Oasis. That was one in
Oasis,
the same.
Third Eye Blind, and
Brett Eldridge. And didn't we do one more?
Yes.
We did one more. What do I have here? I don't know.
But
Smashing
we
Pumpkins.
partnered up with Live Nation, so we're giving away tickets.
Oh,
all week.
Flow Rider.
Oh yeah, Flow Rider.
Flow Rider,
And
Nelly, and
Yeah.
TLC.
Yeah.
So we got all that. That's people. You can win stuff.
Yeah, you can.
So-
you just gotta listen because we ain't gonna tell you when we're giving it
No,
away.
see that's the thing. Also, Michael Cohen at the end of the show on Monday reported to his little swanky prison. I guess he was on his way up there. He had a
Yes,
2
the
p.m.
boys-
deadline.
The boys talked about that. He's staying in a medium security prison, and then Sid said, "Well, why? What's a minimum security prison?" And we really didn't know, right? And so maybe it's for people who just get caught with a joint or peeing outside. We don't know.
Well, Sid made the kind of brought it back to him in rehab in a halfway house. That was like a minimum security
Okay.
thing. So you kind of
Very
you're
light.
watched.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you're on probation, but you actually have to go back to
Okay.
a physical place and check in.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name? Michael Cohen.
Cohen's going to jail. So as he was going to jail, literally the same moment Meghan Markle gave birth to her
Right.
baby.
Oh,
She was coming out, or he was coming out into the world.
Well, we don't know if she had a vaginal or if he exited via the
C-section.
C-section. So
Honestly, I don't care.
we don't care. We're not really into the royals. It's just like who cares? Some people are like really, really into the royals. We are not one of them.
I don't understand the fascination with them.
I don't care.
And
Just
that's-
like the Kardashians, I could give a shit about
it's garbage. See, this is what I'm talking about.
I know.
Technology. You have access to all this goddamn garbage.
It's
I don't
crap.
care what's going on across the Atlantic Ocean.
I don't care. I just care what's in my paycheck, that my kids are doing well in school,
And-
that people are doing the right thing around me, and
Local issues, local news. I don't.
Local.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's just too, like I said before. The 24-hour news cycle is just way too much, and we see what goes into it. You people don't even
Yeah,
know.
Meanie and I said if once we are done with radio, we are never watching the news or listening to
no,
the news again.
no, and I've got such a different view on the news, and
Oh, it's so skewed.
it's everybody's. You cannot believe anything.
I want
unless
one
you see it.
news source where it's just news. And
Facts.
somebody told me that BBC is close to just facts, and somebody also mentioned Al Jazeera. So I'm like, well, how can Al Jazeera?
I think those are both more middle. They're more center. They're not so polarized. Like you have New York Times is very liberal.
Well,
and then
New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, we know those liberal. We know Fox News is right.
Yeah.
So what? Even Channel 7, Channel 4, Channel 2 are left leaning.
yeah. But what do you go to the AP, right?
Now, is AP left or right leaning? Like I just feel like politics gets in the way. Like I want a boss who tells his employees, keep your politics aside, just give straight news. And I have yet to find that. I would love to know so I could just follow that.
Mm-hmm. And the producers working behind the scenes, producing whatever it is for
Yeah,
them.
bitch.
So interesting month. Oh, Bruce Springsteen's going back on tour. We talked
Yeah, he's
about
gonna be
briefly.
70. Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. Good for him. Again, the talking on the cell phone with Sid walking around. It
Right.
came up and
People are dying
technology.
everywhere taking
There you
selfies.
go. Another one. Oh, that's right. Yes, because the girl, that 22-year-old girl
Yeah.
over the weekend fell out while taking it. That is.
And then a couple of weeks ago, the Fordham beautiful girl.
Yeah.
And Sid was saying, how come they're not showing any fat girls taking selfies on the news? They're all pretty girls. Good point.
Good point. Bernie said they're getting pushed instead of falling out.
The fat girls are getting pushed.
So that's just something to monitor, I'm sure. Let's,
Yeah,
what
it's
do you
sad.
think within the next 3 weeks? Does somebody fall out a window,
Yeah,
hurting
definitely.
themselves, like killing themselves?
It scares me to death because my daughter Olivia, she's 15. She's always taking selfies. She and her friends, when they have sleep, all they do is take selfies. And now my 8-year-old, her too.
It's
sick.
insecurity. I think you need to see yourself
Yes,
and make sure you're looking okay all the time.
That's what
and,
determines popularity now.
Ugh,
like if somebody,
God.
how many likes you get on your picture.
and that, I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole for hours and just talk about how that is ruining
It's
people,
just,
ruining people.
it's horrible.
It is horrible. All right, well,
Yeah,
that's
it was
Monday.
Yep. And then there was Tuesday.
We move on to Tuesday. There, Flirty Flipper.
See you next Tuesday.
How did you get that nickname there, Flipper?
Well, funny you should ask.
Yeah, funny I asked.
I was showing one of Sean Hannity's other producers my tattoo on my back when I first came to WABC.
How many tattoos you have?
Just one.
Okay.
And I was showing it to my friend Eric Stanger, and Sean walked by, and he said, "Whoa, your name is Flipper now." And then, how did I get Flirty Flipper? And I don't know. Somehow Sean just gave me the nickname Flirty Flipper.
Flirty Flipper. You
Yeah.
are. I mean, flirtatious. I'm sure at that point in your life, you're still kind of.
I guess I'm with everybody that came in, all the guests we had. I was just super, super friendly.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're just gonna call you Flirty Flipper.
I mean, and today's PC culture too. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
you're flirt.
Oh,
you're
nowadays,
flirty. Yeah.
I would be like, that's offensive.
Well, I mean, in the sense of flirtiness, like
Right.
I feel like flirting is a guy and girl, like a guy to a girl thing or a girl to a guy thing. Now it's like you can just flirt with anybody, just
Yeah,
flirt
anybody.
around with them.
It's fun.
So tattoo, that's the origin of it.
Yes.
People mark that down.
Mark it down.
All right, Tuesday we didn't have many guests, right? We just had
we
Bo
only had
Dietl,
just Bo calling in from Las Vegas, and Joe Borelli.
Joe Borelli.
running for public advocate, and we put our what's the right
Endorsed
word?
him.
We endorsed him, so therefore he's going to lose.
Yep, that's the mantra of the
Success.
Bernie and Sid in the Morning Show. We endorse you and you lose.
Exactly.
It's not the greatest one, but
It's true though.
it is true.
I hope he doesn't lose because he's a good guy, and I don't know who he's running against, but they're probably going to win. But they probably suck.
Yes.
It's a great endorsement.
It is a great endorsement. Sunscreen. That was a big topic on Tuesday.
Yes.
Sunscreen. So it turns out that it's not good for you, right? I think
Well,
you're more up on this than me.
They discovered that after an hour of being on you, sunscreen enters your bloodstream. And sunscreen with the ingredient oxybenzone is very, very toxic. And who knows what things it can cause. I'm not saying it causes autism, but who knows what it can do to your body, if it could
If
cause
it's getting in your bloodstream.
cancer. Right.
That's not good, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, are you better off getting a sunburn? I don't know. I think you should use sunscreen with zinc oxide. 'Cause
Go ahead, yeah.
So far, that has been proven to not cause any diseases.
Or damage.
Yeah.
Did this article or whatever study did you find? Did they give any resolutions to how to get to
well-
what if 45 minutes into my
Right, exactly.
lather of sunscreen I could get it off somehow?
Well, the dermatologist that did comment on this said, "Nah, that's hogwash. We still recommend 30 and over." But of course, like Sid was saying, some dermatologists are in bed with certain
pharmaceutical
pharmaceuticals companies and certain brands of sunscreen. So they're going to recommend that. Just think for yourself. I only put zinc on my kids and myself. So
Okay.
maybe if you want to do that too. I
Yeah.
think you too, Meanie, because you burn. I don't burn.
I burn a little. I put block on, and then
You're part Irish, that's why.
Yeah, I am. I do, and
Yeah,
every year I make the mistake of I don't need the sunblock, and it's like you would think after 29 years I would learn. You
Yeah,
know that just put it on.
That's like, so I have 3 kids, as you know, and so my oldest Jack, he burns. He was the fairest as a kid. Olivia, she's in the middle. She's fair as well. And then, but my little one, Emma, my mini-me, I don't use sunscreen on her because she doesn't burn. I don't really use it on myself. They say, put it on your face, you're going to get lines and stuff, but whatever.
It's not the end of the world, people.
Whatever. If I do use it, I use the Trader Joe's zinc oxide.
Okay. I don't know what kind I use, but it's like 30 SPF.
Yeah,
when I do use
but
it.
you're probably using the one with oxybenzone in it. It's really bad.
I'll have to look.
Yeah,
when I go
very
home.
toxic, people. Very toxic.
Very toxic. Not good stuff. Tiger Woods,
Yeah, he got the Medal of Freedom.
Medal of Freedom from Donald Trump, and
Bernie said that only one presidential candidate got it, and he was wrong.
Wrong.
We do say a lot of wrong things on the show, fake news, not on purpose.
it's amazing. We endorse people and they lose. We make a lot of statements that we
That are
think
totally
fact.
untrue.
Yes.
And all the
And we find
listeners
out,
call up to correct.
That's what's good about it is we have listeners who correct us.
It's interaction,
It is.
and we admit that we're wrong all the time.
Yeah. So Bernie said that there was only one, and
We all guessed. Who did I guessed? JFK.
I guess Dwight D. Eisenhower,
Right.
and
Bernie said it was the other. It was one of the Roosevelts, not.
FDR.
No, it was Teddy, right? I think it was Teddy.
It was Teddy. Yes,
Yes.
that was the right answer.
That was the right
to
answer.
begin, to start. That was the right answer.
Right.
We thought
Rethought, and then we were corrected. Yes, it was Teddy, but it was also JFK.
JFK. Yes.
And Sid was surprised that Lincoln was never given it, considering he freed the slaves. And a bunch of others that they mentioned, which I forgot by now.
Another one. Obama gave himself one.
Yes.
right? That wasn't just a meme on the internet.
I don't know. Is that really true? Because I saw the meme.
I don't know. It's funny.
I believe it.
I don't know. And then we went through.
Reagan got one.
Reagan got one. Okay, yes, I remember
Tearing
that.
down the wall.
We also talked about the other athletes that have been awarded
Right.
this because the other
people,
side of the
yeah.
aisle, the political aisle, everyone's saying, why would he give it to Tiger Woods? He's the athlete. He's the fourth golfer to have it.
He's the fourth golfer, right? Like Babe Ruth got one.
Larry Doby is he was the
Who's that?
first African American to play in the National League.
Okay.
Jackie Robinson was the first in the American League, I believe, or maybe the other way around.
I hope Arthur Ashe got one. He was a very, very good African American tennis player. So
Yes.
I don't know if he did, but he should.
Influential.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yes, we went from that, and one other thing on talking about memes and that meme. I know Patsy sent us that
Yes.
meme. We got a lot of action on these tweets
yes,
about the subway
You discovered that, and I was amazed.
on Tuesday. Yeah.
Yes, Meanie showed us early in the morning this. I guess it was a capture of who?
It was a
tweeted
tweet. It was some Twitter account that has to do with the city.
The police.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a picture of a guy getting a blowjob
Yes.
from another guy. It looked like
Right on the step, right on a bench in
on the
subway.
benches, 116th Street. We figured it out. It was the A&C station on 116th Street.
In front of people, like during regular rush
Hour,
like
broad daylight.
broad daylight.
And we just,
We tweeted it out. We blurred it out.
blurred it out, tweeted it out. It's just disgusting what's going on in there.
Yep.
In the
and
subways.
That's de Blasio for you.
Yes, and the other picture that I tweeted out too was of that subway car that was just
what time
absolutely
was that?
trashed in the morning when I was there, and
It was. If go on Twitter, you could see it at 3Meany.
Yeah.
And MEANY,
Yep.
and you can see the garbage taking up
Just
all the seats.
thrown across the place.
Yeah, it's just this is it's like the David Dinkins days. I mean, I don't remember.
Back to the
it 'cause I was
70s.
tiny, but
I wish Curtis was 20 again or 25 again. He could just get in there and really clean things up. Curtis does a great job.
I
I'm
wish
not.
Curtis would run for mayor. He would win.
Yeah,
I think he would win.
I
New
would vote.
Yorkers
I would vote
love
for him.
Curtis.
I would vote for him.
Yeah, I would totally vote for him.
And also another thing about the subways on Tuesday morning, I wrote this down, that when I got on the train, I usually take the 2 or the 3 train into Penn Station, but when they're not running or they're like a 15-minute wait
Yeah.
in the morning, I take the Q into Herald Square, and I had got on the train, pulled into the station, I got on the train, and there was a guy laying down, across a bench like you see a lot in the mornings, and there was 2 police officers on the platform there waiting, and the conductor went to the police officers and said, "Hey, can you get this guy out of here?" And before they even got on the train, the 2 police officers, and I'm not knocking the police at all, but
Yeah.
this was just, it kind of irked me a little bit. The police officers asked the conductor, was he being disorderly or is he just laying down? No. If he's laying down,
He's taking up space.
yeah, or he shouldn't be laying down on the train. The fact
Well, it
that
was
you
a
had to
homeless
ask
guy,
that.
right?
He looked a little.
So
yes,
they should
homeless.
find him a shelter. I
Or
mean,
s-
you can't get a good sleep on a train. Poor
No,
guy. He needs a shelter.
The point that I'm trying to make
Yeah.
that irked me was the fact that it was like if he wasn't disorderly, and he was just laying there, they would let him, continue laying there.
Exactly. Well,
And-
did they remove him?
Yeah, they got him up because I think the conductor did say that he was being disorderly
Right.
before. But I mean, there's times when I'll put my feet up or on the seat or something when there's nobody next to me and I'm like tired or something, and I ride with the conductor, and the conductor will come out and open the door and say, "Can you please take your feet off the seat?"
They do the same. in the
So
Long
that's
Island Railroad.
why I'm irked about that.
Yeah,
That- the fact that they asked him
double rules.
double standards.
Yeah.
So
Not
also
cool.
not cool at all. Also Tuesday we found out that nobody gives a crap about the Royals and their baby that
Yeah, we
was born the day before.
Sid gave out the number. He said, "Just call. I'm not. I'm going to tell you why now, but just call." And then we just took calls from everybody. Do you give a shit about Meghan Markle had a baby boy? And everyone said no.
Nobody does, and we think we should do away with the Royals because
I do too. I mean, just because it's history. I mean, slaves were history too, but they were bad.
That's exactly what I think. Is that these America was founded because we wanted
Right.
to leave Europe and the whole slavery thing in America. Well, guess what? You don't think that the English and the Royals had slaves?
Oh,
Nobody says boo about that.
Yeah, it's time to move on.
Ain't
Update.
right.
Get rid of that.
Ain't right.
And then we brought up the fact that the Kardashians are the American royalty, and they're annoying too. I mean, to put anyone on a pedestal,
Yeah.
dumb.
Monday night was the Met Gala and Kim Kardashian. Well, all the Kardashian.
Yeah.
I saw Kylie,
They make me so-
Jenner. No, what is it?
Kylie Kendall.
Kendall's okay. I don't mind Kendall because
I don't even know who.
Kendall is
they
the
are.
swimsuit Victoria's Secret model that actually looks human.
Okay.
The other two, Kylie, even three, Kylie, Chloe, and Kim look like aliens. You look at their hips and their boobs, and it's just
Well,
they don't look real.
They do what their mommy did. They're very plastic now, so they follow their mommy, and she's the same way. She's unrecognizable.
And it's
very sad.
having two young daughters, how
Yes.
they look up.
And I know my youngest, just yesterday, Kim Kardashian came on the TV and she said, "Which Kardashian is that?" I said, "That's Kim." And she's like, "Oh, I like Kylie, the one that has the makeup line." And I'm just like, "What? No." I'm like, "You're not watching any
The
Kardashian."
self-made millionaire, she claims.
Yeah.
And her
They work very hard.
Yeah, so that's what happened on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hump day.
Then there was Hump Day.
Hump day. Big thing on Wednesday. Sid had a big dilemma to deal with, which he teased at the beginning of the
Yes.
show, and it
The whole-
lasted the
the whole
entire
show.
show. He still has not made a decision on what event
Yeah.
he will be hosting.
He's going to have to. It's coming up.
Either Eric Ulrich's GOP event out in Queens or Joseph Aboud's cancer event
Right. And
in Manhattan or whatever on the same night, June 11th or something like
right.
that.
He did commit to Ulrich's
First.
But Joseph Aboud, like Bernie said, is one of our sponsors, and they've known Aboud much longer than they've known Eric Ulrich. And we have helped Eric in the past. We've helped him lose, actually, because we endorsed him.
Well, we initially we had good intentions to start, but
Yeah.
he ended up-
But everyone that we endorse always loses. So Eric lost, but we did have him on a bunch. And Aboud puts money into the show. He's our advertiser. So most of us think he should do Aboud, even though he did commit to Ulrich first.
Yeah.
But he didn't know he had the Aboud thing.
Exactly, and that's the other thing. And we had callers call up and say, or listeners call up and say,
Yeah.
you have to stick to you stick to your morals here, Sid. You got to stay.
And the Aboud thing's for cancer, you said, right?
Yeah, and we tried to guilt him into that. I think being like, Sid, you got to go to the Aboud thing. It's for cancer.
Yeah.
and
It does. That does trump the Republican fundraiser, pun intended.
absolutely, and that is a good pun there.
Yeah.
Dale Berra, Yogi Berra's son, was in the studio on Wednesday. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he looks just like his father.
He's got the nose. Yes, he looks very similar to Yogi Berra. I told a lot of stories. Went through his whole career as a baseball player. He was a drug addict, and
I love the story he told how his dad came to him and said, "You're not going to be my son. You're not going to be a Berra." And the way he told it was just so potent. And sometimes it takes tough love.
oh yeah, and he's. I mean, that's the sense he got from Dale was that his father was a tough love kind of guy, and
He said, "You see your siblings over there? They're not your family.
they're not going to
anymore."
be your brothers, and said, hey. That's essentially, it gave him an ultimatum.
Yeah.
And even with the way he was talking about how his dad, he would come home and from playing baseball, and he would ask his dad, you want to have a catch, Dad? He said, no, that's what your brother. That's why you have
That's
brothers.
why you have brothers.
Yeah, and can you teach me how to field better? No, go watch Bud Harrelson or whoever
That's
it was.
how the thinking was back then too. It's so different now. Like I always see the dads outside with their kids, teaching them to ride the bike.
Uh-huh.
And the dads doing this, and it has to be very equal now. So I know.
I was talking about this with Joan Hamburg and Jennifer Grod the other day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And,
Oh my God.
About dating and going out on dates now. Like, this is me. I go
Okay.
out on a date with a girl. As long as the girl isn't rude, I have no problem paying for
Now,
it.
do you have
Even if it's the first date. Good.
really? Okay. I think
not a
I think a woman still expects a man to pay for it, and definitely you have to hold the door open for her. Maybe.
Absolutely.
You do
They
that?
go
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Let her go first. Walk out the elevator first. Some people don't do that. Thinking back
What?
to Vic and I's first date ever,
Yeah.
and he till this day says it wasn't a date. But basically, he asked me to go see the movie The Lion King.
Okay.
It was years ago.
a great movie.
And yeah, of course. And I said yes. And then so he met me at the movie theater, and he goes in front of me. So I think he's buying 2 tickets, and then he just comes out with one for himself, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I go pay for mine, and then I'm sitting in the movie theater the whole time. I'm like, is this guy cheap? And I asked him after I did something to him, I'm like, why did you make me pay for my own ticket? He's like, to be honest, I didn't think this was a date. we have the same group of friends. We always hang out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were just hanging out as friends, and then you kind of let on that you liked me. And he did have a girlfriend at the time.
Ooh, homewrecker.
Yeah, he's like, you knew I was dating this person. I'm like, well, that didn't stop you from doing what we just did.
I don't blame him.
And so that, yeah, his excuse was he didn't think it was a date. I'm sorry, but if you're dating someone, you don't ask another girl if she wants to go see a movie with you.
True.
If you don't have.
He asked you?
Yeah. He said, "Do you want to go see Lion King today?" And I'm like, "Oh."
I'm sure he was
lucky.
covering his tracks by not buying that ticket.
But why do you ask somebody? I don't know. Even if you don't ask a member of the opposite sex to go to the movies unless you have other intentions.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
And he did, and those other intentions were to
Yeah.
marry you.
Yeah,
Look at that,
eventually.
and then reproduce.
I gave him the ultimatum, meaning eventually. I said, "Listen, I'm not going to date you when you're. I'm not going to not date you."
How long did you cheat on? How long was he cheating on his girlfriend for?
Let's see. It was probably just 2 months because I did give him an ultimatum. I said, "You have to pick between me and this girl," and he chose me.
The right one,
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
But I was in the same sense, like, I go out, I don't have a problem paying for the whatever drinks or whatever we get.
Yeah, but then she's got to put out, right?
You
Do
expect?
do you expect girls to put out on the first date?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
That's fine with me.
Do you respect girls more if they don't F you at the first date? Do you respect them more, or are you disappointed?
No, I respect them more.
Oh, see, yeah,
Good girls never give it up on the first night.
exactly.
That's the thing.
I didn't give it up on the first date. I did, something. We made out
Yeah, yeah.
and
Oh,
stuff. I didn't give it
that's
up.
the other
though.
thing. I mean, that's fine.
Making out is fine.
That's
right?
cool. That's fine. Just not hitting a home run. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I
with
agree.
me.
I totally agree.
Totally agree. But
Let them chase you a little bit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Don't. There's a
'Cause-
great line in a Biggie Small song. It says, "I don't chase them, I replace them." Right? And that's how
Leave
how
it
it
to
goes.
Biggie.
That's how it goes.
No, you-
But in today's day and age, just getting back to the point here, was that equality and everything. So you never know. If I offer to be, oh no, I got the check. Excuse me, you don't think I could pay for it
God.
myself?
If girls do that, has that ever happened to you? Because
no,
if-
but I believe me. You think it crosses
I
my mind
know.
every time I go out.
Yeah, I guess I have to prep my son that because we, teach him to be a gentleman, hold the door open, even though he fights with his sisters nonstop. But in this hashtag Me Too and I am equal and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. If girls do that, then they're not. No, she's not the right one.
Yeah, no, not at all. That the total turn off right there. Very unattractive. You're doing that. You're just,
You got to be a little submissive. You have to, and girls, let the man be a man.
exactly. At the end of the day,
Let the man be
at
a
the-
man. He's
you-
got his testosterone. You have to let his muscles flare up a little bit.
Exactly. You want to. I feel like you want to feel protected, right? You want
Yeah.
somebody to rely.
Do you
on,
want a
to
man
lean
or
on.
do you want a woman with penis and balls?
Yeah.
You want a man.
You want somebody to rely on
Yeah.
and
Take care of you and make you feel
exactly. And even in gay and lesbian relationships, there could be two dynamics too. There could be a more masculine and
yes,
a
more fembot.
yeah, and then a more feminine
Right.
side.
Or
It's
the
either way.
lipstick. They want to say lipstick lesbian.
Yes,
or,
lipstick,
or,
and I guess I don't know if butch is the right word, but
yeah, I've heard that term
a
before.
little more butchier. But yeah, so that's in today's day and
God,
age.
I would not
don't
want to
know.
date. No, actually, if I were a male, I wouldn't want to date this day and age because it's tough for you guys.
It's believe me, it's like I am very. It's amazing. Like you just can't go in anymore.
What do you mean go in? What?
Just go in for it.
Dive in?
Yeah, you just can't go in for it. You gotta you gotta play a long game and be patient and really find out.
But that's how
these
it's always.
people
It's
feel.
always a game. It's always been a game.
It
It will
is.
always be a game. It just girls be the girl, and guys be the guy.
And accept that the man is the man if he is the man.
Yes, and if he tells you to vacuum, you get on your freaking knees and vacuum.
exactly.
I mean, if he tells you to cook, where's his dinner?
Exactly. Especially if they're not working. That's like in
Yeah, I
one
mean-
of my friends, his father, his mother has never worked. She's just been at home his entire life, and an Italian lady. She
I know
cooks.
people like that.
Just all she does, and the father would never let her work.
If you are a stay-at-home mom, you should cook for your man.
There should be a hot meal on the dinner table when he comes home from work.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that.
I mean, I work, and I still manage to cook dinner about 3 days during the week.
Does Vic cook at all? Or is
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Does he cook or does he barbecue?
He
'Cause it's two different
barbecues and
things.
cooks. He does.
Barbecuing for a guy is like
He doesn't bake. I bake.
Bake?
But
Okay.
he cooks and he BBQs. But if you are a stay-at-home mom, there is zero excuse for you not to make food for your
Make
whole family, for your
food.
kids too.
Yes, feed the whole family.
Yeah.
That's the traditional, and that's what's gone away. Is that
Yeah.
now that everyone, it's like no, it's got to be equal. It's got to be. I'm all for
know.
equality. It probably sounds like I'm not for equality, but I think everybody should be equal. But also there are roles that you need to learn and not learn, but you need to understand. That's how it should be. That's how humans are.
I took about 2.5 years off before I came back to WABC after I had Emma. I say she was about a year old. So I had Jack and Olivia, so if she was 1, they were like 6 and 7. So.
Okay, so all right.
So I was home, and Vic was working a lot because I wasn't. And some days he would come home and I didn't make dinner, and he would be like, Jill, I'm coming home at 8 o'clock at night. At least have something ready for me. And I tried to use the excuse, I'm busy with the kids all day. It's hard with the baby and the 2. And he did tell me, he's like, I understand that, but my mom did it for us. Millions of moms did it.
Still do it.
And he kind of taught me how important it was to still, cook for the kids and himself, because he's doing his role.
He needs to be able to work. Believe me, you wouldn't be able to stay at home if he wasn't able to work, right?
And that's exactly his point.
And what was I going to say here?
Yeah. So, and women shouldn't look at it as like, I shouldn't cook. If you're home, you should
do something, right? But the fact that we've come a long way, because I just think about this is how my mind works, I guess. But back in when before women really didn't have rights or anything, and they were expected to do that, and they would come home, and you would have no chance to explain yourself. It would be, why don't you have it? And if not, I don't know. I don't want to know what happened.
Edith, where's my beer?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So the fact that it's that
men are becoming pussies. Let's face it.
Yeah, beta men. It's just like
men. You got to teach your women if they're home raising your kids, cook for you and for themselves and for the kids.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that it's difficult, raising children.
It's a full-time job being home with the kids. It's actually harder to stay home with the kids. But let's face it, if some of your kids are in school, you have time to cook.
True. And also the fact that, even if your kids are young and they're not in school, that you are getting a chance to grow with your. Not many mothers, I don't think, have that opportunity to that their husbands.
It's such a privilege to be able to stay home with their kids.
Their husbands are able to provide for the whole family, and they could stay at home for, like you said, 2.5 years and watch your kids grow up.
Yep, you gotta be grateful.
I know that one of my friends who's about to have a kid, his wife has like 6 months of maternity leave.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
That is. So that's good for her, but then she's got to go back to work, and when she goes back to work, he has, I think, 3 months of paternity leave where he's just going to be able to be at home with the kid. And he made a good point that, he'd rather have when the kid's a little older and more, has its whereabouts.
It's tough when they're a baby.
Yeah. So.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do. And then we just talked about a lot there, but Tuesday, Wednesday? Wednesday. Yeah, and I guess we could do, we had Jay Fiedler, and by the end of the show, Wednesday, Sid still didn't figure out what the hell was going on. So we'll let you know.
If he doesn't know, we don't know.
Yeah. And the beauty of podcasting is that Flipper did have to leave so we could edit stuff, and we did edit. And to finish things up, to wrap Thursday up, we brought in our assistant program director, Matt Dahl. Matt, how are you?
Hello, man. I'm good. I'm here to critique the show.
Yes, I can't wait to hear this because we were talking in the meantime while Flipper had to leave there. We were like, I was like, did you listen to any of this show today? You said you had something. So let me hear. What is this that you have here that you want to critique us about?
Well, actually, this is no specific critique, but this is almost props.
All right, props. I'll take props.
I was listening. I just mentioned it to Bernie out in the hallway. I was listening on my way in this morning. It was the 640 segment.
Okay.
And you guys started talking about this softball game that's coming up. I mean, I know Sid's very big into this, hyping it up, and he's doing a great job hyping it up.
Absolutely, and getting it done, yeah.
You'll be I think the plan is to take on Fox 5, right?
Yes, Fox 5 television, yes.
And so you guys were talking about this, and Sid was going over the different positions and who's going to play and who stinks and who's not good, and then you came up.
Yeah.
And then Bernie asked you if you know how to carry a water cooler, and I thought that was great. I was like, that's perfect.
Or a beer cooler, yeah, definitely. I said what I said. I can carry a beer cooler and drink a beer cooler at the same and drink a beer at the same time. So and then I don't care. I mean, it sounds like a fun thing. We used to have a softball team here, but it does sound fun. I don't care if I play or not. It doesn't sound. I mean, Sid came in and told me, he's like, "Where do you want to play?" I was like, "I don't care. I just want to. I just want to get it. I want to hit." And he's like, "No, you'll play." But the way Sid has been talking about this thing, it sounds like we're gonna have a team of 52 players. So.
Well, yeah, I know he's talking about John Franco, Jim
Leyritz,
Jim Brewer, who's playing
Jim
shortstop.
Brewer.
I've never seen Jim Brewer play baseball or softball, so I don't know how good he is. I know he did the Mets fantasy camp, but
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think the hope is like Doc Gooden is part of this as well.
Yeah. Well,
as long as he remembers to show up.
Yeah. Have you seen him?
Am I okay to say that?
Yeah. No, I was going to make a Jim Leyritz joke, but we'll leave that be for now. But yeah, Dwight doesn't look great. I mean, from what I've seen, but well, hey, if he shows up, that's awesome. If not, whatever. We don't, who cares? Bernie's going to play first base apparently. Flipper may play the rover position if Sid lets her play in the field.
Now, how do you think this game? So, the game's going to go on before a Cyclones game.
Yeah,
that
which is
night
kind
in
of cool.
July.
Yeah.
That is cool. So you'll have about a 60-minute window to play this game. How many innings do you think you actually get in?
3.
Yeah.
I think 3.
I was going to say, the play is probably going to be so sloppy. The first couple innings might really drag out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully, hopefully each team will get at a bat, and that's what we're hoping for. The first
exactly.
half inning doesn't last an hour.
Right. Well, hopefully you got John Franco pitching, so you guys can mow him down quick.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing, a good approach to get yourselves up there quickly.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. It's a good event for the station. Great event for the morning show. Get you guys out there.
I think it's
show yourselves off a little.
Exactly, and I think it's awesome. It hopefully be a nice day and just to get out there and see everyone's athletic ability, and then that's great content for the following week or whatever. You can talk about that, and so it'll be fun though. And what was it? Oh yeah, if I do get on the field, I'm going to make sure to mess up all the lines and all the batter boxes. So that field crew, what do they call it? Field crew?
Grounds crew.
Grounds crew. There we go. Grounds crew has their hands full.
That's a little negative.
Oh well, you want to make them work. You make them work a little bit.
Now let me ask
plus,
you.
then I can get a little dirty. That'll be cool. It'll be fun.
Now let me ask you how. So this is the only day I'm popping in for the Wrap It Up Bernie and Sid podcast.
Well, we'll say the first time. Yeah.
Yes.
We don't know if it'll be the last.
How
was
does
like to get out of here early.
Yeah.
And she will admit that.
She will, as she's running through her Long Island Railroad train.
Yeah, gotta get it.
How was the show all week, in your opinion? I know we're just talking about Thursday, but how was the show all week? Let's wrap up the wrap-up.
You're right. Wrap up the wrap-up. Great show all week. I always say to, well, probably you, that whenever, or even Sid or Flipper and Bernie, I always say if I walk out of the studio with no complaints, then if I have nothing to complain about, it was a great 4 hours every day. And the whole week was like that. There wasn't a really, you know what? There was one thing today where Sid was going off on the moms thing. I think it just got a little out of hand, and I was like, all right, okay.
That was an interesting little thing going. It kind of started in the 8 o'clock hour, right?
Yes.
And then I still heard it at around like 9:40.
Yeah, so what happened was, I guess Craig, our program director, gave us a story, and we didn't want to do it because I don't know, just we didn't want to do it, whatever. And so Sid, Sid doing the Sid thing that he does, he just didn't tell us what he was doing, and went in there and had this and said yada yada yada. This is the story, and we ended up talking about the story, just kind of ripping it apart, saying that it was moms who work at home say that stay-at-home moms, their job is like 2.5 times a regular job, which I wouldn't say it's 2.5 times a regular job by any means, but it's definitely hard. But you can escape a little bit. There's things you can do to escape. Where at work, you're under the supervision of a boss or somebody
I'll say
higher
this,
up.
man, you are tied to those kids, and it is it's a lot. It's a lot. If there's more than one kid, especially if you're at home, and even if you're a stay-at-home dad, if you're at home with a couple of kids younger age, and if they're close in age, it's gonna be a lot of energy you're gonna need to get through that day.
I get that point, and at first I was kind of like, Sid, what are you talking about? But then now I realized, I was like, okay, well, you go to work, you really don't have it. Some people don't have an invested interest in their work. They just go there and deal with numbers or whatever else they do, or dig holes, and there's really no investment there. But when you're with your kids, you do have an investment there, and that is a positive, and not everyone has that. So it may be hard and tough, but they're your children.
Right. It's a fulfilling experience. It's a challenge, and I give everybody in the world that does it credit. But I agree with you. It's a fulfilling experience.
And you could give it to them straight, too, where at work there's things like you may not want to say to some people, and you got to, bite your tongue. But your kids, you could yell at them and tell them exactly what you feel.
Yeah,
you know?
you try giving it straight to a 4-year-old who's bouncing off the walls.
Well, that's fine. At least they may not listen, but you'll be able to get it out and and just be like, at least I don't know.
So
say what you're
we're-
thinking to your kids.
I was in by that point this morning. I was running around though. Were Bernie and Sid butting heads on this?
I wouldn't say butting heads, but Bernie was playing devil's advocate, saying, it's not what you're saying. It's not easy to raise children, and the one thing that
and Sid was, I'm Sid Rosenberg. I'm the man.
I could do it
You're
all by
all-
myself. Like if I could do it, if my wife could do it while working a job, yada yada yada. Which I get it. Like there are a lot of mothers out there, especially in this day and age, as we were talking about before with Flipper, about how we were talking about dating and paying for the drinks or dinner or whatever. If the guy should pay for it, well. In today's day and age, we were saying that the playing field is level, so we should split it. And maybe a girl would get offended if you offered to pay for the drink or the dinner. So in the same sense, there's a lot of women that are in the work field today that don't want to leave their jobs or may not get the longest
Right.
maternity leave that they want. Not even maternity leave. When they get older, they continue to work and they still have to go home and be the mom as well.
Now I'm going to pivot this conversation
Pivot.
because you brought something up that's interesting.
Yeah.
What does the guy do when he makes less than the girl
What are you
for
saying?
dates?
For dates? Well, then
'Cause as
the girl better be worth it.
As young men who work in radio, Matt, we've been down this road
What
in
are you
our
talking
lives.
about? I make so much money. It's unbelievable.
Let's
I
go
could
back. Let's
take
go back
4
to
women out.
let's even go further back on the timeline when this job early on in our young blossoming careers, we were. We both started at the same entry level, $14 an hour,
Yep.
and you maybe had 2 or 3 shifts a week.
Uh-huh.
What do you do when you're? I mean, I think you just got to find a college student to date, so you are making more than her. I
There
think
you
that's
go.
what you got
That's
to do.
that's an option. Find some homeless people. I don't know. No. But yeah, it is tough in this day and age. I guess what I said before is just the girl's got to be really worth it. If the guy is going to go out and thinking that he's going to spend money on somebody who makes more than them. So,
That sounds like a perfect tagline for the Bumble profile.
there you go.
Girls got to be worth it.
Got to be worth it.
Dollar emoji.
Dollar emoji, ching ching. I don't even use emojis that much, honestly. As a millennial, I guess you could say. What do they say? Millennials are anyone born after 2000 or?
No, I think it's even earlier. I think you and I are in the
Okay,
millennial
so the millennials.
range.
As a millennial, I do not use emojis as much as I feel other millennials do. I
I'm
just
big
don't get
on
it.
the laughing monkey emoji.
Laughing monkey.
Big on that one.
I don't even know if I have that. I have an
When it's
Android.
The monkey's covering his eyes.
Oh, okay. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. That's the
Something like that,
emoji
yeah.
thing. But yeah, so that was. I mean, go back to the point. The whole week we had a great week, other than like the last, whatever. There was 2 segments in the last 2 hours that I don't know. I got a little heated, a little overheated, but that's entertaining. That's the
Yes,
entertaining thing.
it is.
Sitting there and actually working with these guys, and that's the thing. Like I'm not a listener. I mean, I am a listener because I do listen. But I also have a hand in the show, and it's like, are we yelling about this, yada,
Right.
yada, yada. But as a listener, I'm sure it's as entertaining as all hell.
The award-winning morning show.
That's right.
As they told you all week.
The award-winning morning show. We had Bill O'Reilly on Friday, as we always do.
Thursday. It's Thursday. Remember.
Bill, well, it was Friday for me because I have off on
That was going to
Friday.
be my last question for you.
Yeah.
And so you and Jill
Yes,
both off
both off,
Friday.
yeah.
Bernie and Sid in.
Yep.
So we're ending the week with the replacement crew.
The B Squad.
Yeah.
Crash and
Don't call them
Jen.
the B Squad. They might get offended.
That's fine. They can get offended and they can take it up with me. That's fine. Oh my God, could take it up with me. That's fine. I don't know.
All right. So we'll have to report how the response was to the B Squad.
The B Squad. Well, it
Next
was already.
week.
We talked about it on the show on Thursday already because Sid was like, "I'm taking off. I can't do the show without you guys." Yada yada yada.
Oh boy.
And Bernie has said that before too. Is like it's completely different when either you or Jill aren't here. And I was like, yeah, well, we have a thing. We have good chemistry with each other, and we're all here early in the morning and doing the. We've been doing it for more longer than that now. We've been in the mornings for a long time. But I mean, I've been working with Flipper.
You've been with Bernie for 4 years now.
for 4 years. Yes.
Yeah.
I always
In
forget when
those
I started
morning
here.
hours.
Yeah, I
Well,
always
you've
forget
been
when
here for over 5 years, but I
Yes.
think I moved you over to the Imus show 2015.
Yes, I believe that. That is correct because I think it was 2013 I got here.
Yeah.
Sometime February 2013. I always
14.
2014. So, Yeah, we got good chemistry in the mornings, and sometimes. Well, me and Flipper, as soon as we found out we were taking off the same day, I was like, I cannot wait to see how this goes.
I'm the one that approved it, for the record, and I said, just make sure you tell Bernie and Sid.
And we did. We told them. Well, I think
Today.
we were gonna wait until the end of the show today, but we thought better of it and told them the beginning of the show before the show started. So, we usually go over what we're doing this weekend. You doing anything exciting this weekend?
Mother's Day. Probably
right,
something
Mother's
with my
Day.
mom. Other than that, survive a Friday here.
Mhm. Oh, you have a house.
in the workplace. I have a house.
You have 3 bathrooms in this house.
3 bathrooms in the house. You choose which one you want to use each day.
Right. And you're the only resident in this
I'm
house.
the
so
only person in the
How
house.
often do you poop in a different toilet?
I am pretty consistent in just one all
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
If I'm if I'm downstairs watching the Mets game and don't want to go upstairs, I'll use the downstairs one. But
Okay.
that's rare.
So
I have a very controlled schedule.
Okay. Good for you. I mean, I'm all over the place. I don't really even keep a schedule with my bowels. But and you have a barbecue deck and everything. You do any
Yeah.
work? You got to do work on the house. You got doing any work on the house this weekend?
I don't think I'll probably just finish up the deck. I did some stuff last week. No.
So you
no
put
work
lights
on it.
in, right?
Put some lights in. I got 2 more I want to add, and I do eventually want to touch up the deck, but that seems like a major pain in the ass.
That may be a long-term thing
It's
down the road
it's-
sometimes.
Right now, it's rained every weekend the last 12 weeks I saw in the tri-state area. At least one of the days.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Come on. And it's supposed to rain Sunday again. I mean,
So
when you say 2 nice days?
I'm asking the
Because
same thing.
that's what stops me from starting any real
Projects.
outside housework, because it's about I don't want just the rain on everything I just cleaned up.
True. Now, is it you say retouch it or whatever? Are you like talking about replacing?
No, just
or
like-
just like staining it.
Yeah, staining it,
Staining it,
putting
power
the fresh
wash it,
coat,
yeah.
whatever.
All right. Well, that's cool. That sounds fun for your
What about
weekend.
you?
Well, the Mets have a series in Flushing too. So this weekend.
Are
but
you going?
No. I'm going to where I grew up, and this weekend my friend's wife, she's my friend too, has a 30th birthday party, and then Mother's Day. I guess we're going to do Saturday because one of my brothers is going to Greece on Sunday for a week, whatever. Yeah, nice. And that's it. Friday, what am I doing Friday? Oh, Friday I'm meeting a former coworker, Kaylin. Maybe some of you know. She popped
Nice.
in the studio sometimes
Very good.
with Bernie and Sid. On Friday, I'm going to get lunch with her, and then that's.
Now, when do you sleep in until on days you're off?
Oh God! Well, the Saturdays and Sundays.
I'm talking like a regular work day. So Friday, normally you'd be up at 2:30. I'm guessing
2:23.
2:23.
My first alarm goes off.
So Friday morning, no work for Matt Meany.
Yeah.
What time is he waking up?
Well, this Friday I try to wake up before noon on any days that I have off from work. Where I usually don't, and I always end up waking up at like 3:30 just because my body wakes up, and then
Yeah.
I go back to sleep, and then as long as I get up before noon, I'm pretty content with that. I guess. I don't know.
Sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, well, considering that I wake up, in
Right, you're in a
the
zombie-
wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Sleeping in is nice. That's my Saturdays and Sundays. I don't get up before. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I think 2 weekends ago I was up before 12, but usually I'm sleeping.
There was
in.
one Saturday a couple months ago I accidentally called you when I was driving, and I was like, "Oh my God, I just woke this poor bastard up when he's trying to sleep." And it was like 7:30. I was on the road.
Did I pick up?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
but
okay.
but I knew it probably woke you.
No, believe me. That's the one thing about working in the morning is these crazy hours. I go home and sleep in the afternoon, and I don't have to worry about waking up. So I just go to sleep, and I'm like. I go to sleep knowing there's not an alarm going to go. And I do set alarms, but if the alarm goes off and I don't feel like getting up, I just don't get up. I just keep sleeping.
Yeah,
So,
well, nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong with that. And we will send it off as we usually do on both the Bernie and Sid show and this podcast now. Peace!